Everyone. UGC NET is one of the most important paper. It can change the career and even the life of many. As we are aware, if we pass it, it would be our ticket to PhD. And to talk more, it would be guaranteed to get a job of a teacher, lecturer, professor, assistant professor, or associate. No one can deny the importance of UGC NET, English literature. And today we are covering one another segment in this part, and that is related to literary terms. Out of 100 question of UGC NET, there could be 3 to 5 literary terms. And they are not asking some random, but some main and frequently asked literary terms. So we are bringing them here for your help, and these are taken from different sources and angles, and this is how we are starting with literary terms, and here would be 50 literary terms, and you can go with this in that way, like if you are going to check these literary terms, then these three works are more important. That is the Dictionary of Literary Terms and Literary Theory. This is a Penguin book. And again, a Dictionary of Literary Terms by J.A. Kaddan. And the most popular, you are all aware about M.H. Abrams, a Glossary of Literary Terms. You can purchase either one out of it, and if I have to recommend you, then I will go with the Dictionary of Literary Terms and Literary Theory by Penguin. Although it is a choice of yours which one you prefer, but my is on that. I find Glossary of Literary Term a bit hard for those whose English is a bit weak, because lines are lengthy and so on. But instead of wasting our time on that, let's move to our content, and here it begins. The first term we are having is autobiography. It is the history of one's life written by oneself. So sometime question is asked, what is autobiography? So this is what we are having. Second is act. Act is a major division of a drama. Like you have seen 2-act drama, 3-act drama, 1-act play, and even most of the Shakespeare's play are 5-act drama. And most importantly, the famous work about Waiting for Godot is 2-act, a tragic comedy in 2 acts. So this way you can check several things, whether a drama is having how many acts. So act is division of a drama. Antithesis, a contrast or polarity in meaning. That is most important part of a thesis, and you can say that whether your work is following the hypothesis or not. If it is not following your hypothesis, then it is called antithesis. Allusion. Allusion is a reference to an idea, place, person, or text existing outside the literary world. And you can compare them to different. It can be a myth also, a legend also, and so on. It can be a symbol too. Next, allegory. Allegory is a literary work that has implied meaning. You are all aware about several allegories, and that also play important role to give a new type of meaning to a literary work. Alliteration is the repetition of a consonant in 2 or more words. And in the previous video, that is about unit 5, we have covered such segment. And you can go and watch that video to get unit 5, because alliteration type of questions are in unit 5, and they are several important examples. Ballad is a song which tells a story. It is part of poetry, and ballad is more important, especially in poetry of John Keats. And uh, we are also having romantic age begins with the lyrical ballads. That is more like song which tells a story, and you can check those 20 poems, or perhaps 21 poems of lyrical ballad that first open with the rhyme of Ancient Mariner by S.T. Coleridge, and the last Tintern Abbey by William Wordsworth. 1798, the publication of lyrical ballad. Earlier we are having autobiography, now it is biography, is the history of a person's life by someone else. It is not the person himself but someone other. And now like Gandhi's biography, Nehru's biography, and so on. If we go with the blank verse, that next verse is written in iambic pentameter without any rhyme pattern are called rhyme verse, a blank verse. And most of poems that you have seen is in iambic pentameter, but now it is having different like heptameter, hectameter, and so on. So these we are having different kind of things, and so on. Comedy is a play written to entertain its audience and ends happily. As we are know, drama or play is of two type, comedy and tragedy. And in case of comedy, we are having happy ending, and that especially ends with marriages and so on, or love affair that are always successful. But in tragedy, that is totally opposite. And as you like it is a comedy, you see something, and way of the world is also a comedy, so on. Classical means anything that conforms to the rule and modes of the old Greek and Latin writing. So whatever is following the classical modes of writing that is followed by Greek and Latin writers is called the classical writing. Now we are moving to the canto. Canto is a subdivision of an epic or a narrative poem comparable to a chapter in a novel. And now, if a novel has its own chapter, then a poem or an epic is also having its own chapter, and each chapter is called a canto. Chorus is a group of singers who stand alongside the stage in a drama. And these are some characters which either sing, pray, or whatever. Their main aim is to give direction or give force to the action that is happening. Catharsis is emotional release of pity and fear that the tragic incidences in a tragedy arouse to an audience. And that the most important definition of it is found in Aristotle's tragedy, definition of tragedy, that is Aristotle's Poetics. And here you can find this definition of pity and fear. Comic relief is a humorous scene in a tragedy to eliminate the tragic effect from the audience. And here you can see uh, a digger scene from Shakespeare's play where it is introduced to give some comic relief to the audience so that they can bear the death in the coming scene. Couplet. Couplet is a two lines of the same metrical length usually found in Shakespearean sonnet. And even most of the Augustine poetry is written in the couplet form. Uh, so it is two line kind of thing, the line. Catastrophe is the downfall of the protagonist in a tragedy. And now, for example, you can take King Lear, in which Lear is the king, but after his decision to divide his property among three daughters, and thereafter begins his downfall, and that is catastrophe. Didactic, the next is a literary work which aims at teaching and instructing its readers. And dialogue is a short functional term. And next, we are having diction, is the selection of words in a literary work. And now dialect. Dialect is the language of a particular district, class, or a group of people. And now, if you go with this didactic, diction, dialect, these are surely part of Unit 5 and can be important. This Unit 5 is very important, and we can expect 5 to 7 question or perhaps 10 question in that. So line is between 5 to 10 and whatever number could be. And next, we are going to dramatical monologue in a poem when a single person speak along with or without any audience is called dramatic monologue. And My Last Duchess by Robert Browning is example. Most of the poetry of Robert Browning and John Donne fall on this category. Difference between drama and novel. Drama is meant to be performed, whereas novel is meant to be read. Difference between stanza and paragraph. A stanza consists verses, whereas paragraph contains parasite lines. Epic. Epic is a long narrative poem composed on a grand scale and is exalted style. For example, Paradise Lost. Epilogue is the concluding part of a longer poem or a novel or a drama. Fable is a brief story illustrating a moral. And you have read The Thirsty Crow, The Hungry Fox. So these are part of fable. Fable also a kind of story in which animal can speak. And here you find these important fables you have read several times in your life, and especially when you were child. 28 farce is a form of low comedy designed to provoke laughter. And food is a basic unit of meter. Again, unit 5 is more important in that case. Fiction is an imaginative narrative in prose. For example, Lord of the Fly. Elegy. Elegy is a poem mourning to the death of an individual or a lament for a tragic event. Many poems of Matthew Arnold are elegy, and you can check Matthew Arnold for that. Yeah, means category or type of literature, and it can be epic, ode, ballad, tragedy, comedy, or whatever. Hyperbole is an overstatement or exaggeration. Again, it is part of Unit 5. For more, you can check Unit 5 here at that video. For the Unit 5, we have given several examples related to hyperbole and other. Image. Image is the mental picture connected with metaphor, simile, and symbol. Next, limerick is a short poem of 5 line stanza rhyming A, B, B. Lyric. Lyric is a short poem expressing a simple mood. It is usually personal and musical. For example, Keats's Ode. Linguistic is the scientific and systematic study of a language. This question appear 1 or 2 times, and hence it is important. Again, it is part of Unit 5, UGC NET. Melodrama is highly sensational drama with happy ending. Example, The Spanish Tragedy, Thomas Pitt. Metaphysical poetry, meta means beyond and physical means related to body. And most of John Donne's poetry fall in this line. Mock epic is a long satirical poem dealing with the trivial theme, and its best example is Rape of the Lock by Alexander Pope. Metaphor is an implicit comparison between two different things. Again, Unit 5, you can check again video related to Unit 5. There is given the meaning as well as several example. Meter again from unit 5, and that reoccurrence of similar stress pattern in some lines of a poem. Novel is a long prose narrative fiction with plot, character, etc. Novelty is a longer than story and shorter than a novel. Next, ode is a long narrative poem of varying length dealing with serious subject matter. And John Keats' poetry is mostly having ode to nightingale, ode to autumn. Objectivity, we have objectivity in literary piece when the author focuses on an object from broader point of view. Octave is the first part of Italian sonnet. Again, is a unit 5. We can check it from there. Oxymoron is apparently a physical contrast which only makes sense on a deeper level. Again, unit 5. Prologue is the beginning part of a novel or a play or a prose, any metrical length that is not written in a regular meter like poetry. So this is what we are having about it. Many question out of these 50 are from unit 5, and this way these literary terms play a vital role. If we have to go or crack UGC net, we need to know about these literary terms and their example. It is not sure that question will come from these 50, but at least these will make you strong. And strong means confidence, and if you have confidence, that it would be very easy for you crack net exam. Sometime getting more information and the strong information is the key to success, and it might possible that direct you will not get question, but indirect question you can get, and indirect solving the question could also help in a much better way. So this is what we have for today. If you like the video, do subscribe to our channel, comment and share with your friends. Thank you, take care, goodbye.